not sharing my screen again, sorry. But I'm not sharing anything as well. One of the main issues for urban design and urban planning is really where are the people? So development should go where the people are. So if there's nobody living there, there's no reason to develop that land. So that should be a prime sort of location for protected land. So what we're going to do this afternoon is number one, test out our mapping skills. First, we'll sort of familiarize ourselves with how to extract or highlight a particular area for in the Philippines in QGIS. So for now, select a region. The region you're familiar with, it could be um, in the CAR region, NCR na region, National Capital Region, Cebu, wherever. So yeah, last week I thought we'd do all Cebu, but I think for now it's better if we just choose our own area so everyone can see the different areas in the Philippines. And then to do this exercise, you already have all your shape files. Download the activity 03 applying color labels and the activity 04 applying more symbology guides. So they will look like this. So these are guides from 2015. I never really got around to updating them, but they really break down the different steps. It's just that it's very boring to look at. So for now, the CRS tab, this is for finding the coordinate system. You can choose to ignore this because we're not really using it. This is more for more like a habit, but I have not checking this reference system. And then if you do work in a firm or an office, or even if you're the one leading the team in your local barangay or local community, for this activity, you really don't need this coordinate system. Okay, so you should have your Philippine Admin 1 open. And then go to your properties window, click the General tab, etc. And then you can see the different, what do you call this, properties over here. And basically, I'll just go to the end. So basically, you'll highlight your region. And then through these steps, we'll go through it slowly later on. I'll just show you the end output is we can color the different regions. Basically extract a regional map from the different provinces. So, okay, let's go back here. Click OK, blah, 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 I would say file to map. Okay. So where is it? Examine the contents. So this part here on page 2. So open attribute table tool shows you what's inside the document or the shape file. So if we go to, I'll use Philippine Admin 1 for now, because we're looking at regions. Let's put it on top, like so. So if you right click and then open attribute table, right click on the layer that says Philippine Admin 1, you can find the different names of the provinces. You can also use the search tool here. Sorry. You can use the select features tool, sorry, over here, the E. So what this guide is telling us to do is that using the, what do you call this? Oh, I'm skipping ahead, sorry. The properties open layers window, general tab, examine the contents, click OK, right click, save as. Okay, this is just telling you to save the shape file as your own file. You don't have to follow the naming conventions. Again, I really need to update this. But the projects, click add save file to map. And then file to map, click OK. And highlight, open that, examine it. Okay, so this whole page here, Kanisha, is just telling you to save save your map or regional map to a designated folder. For me, I just kanang skip it, but you can do it like this. I'm more interested in the next step here, the select features tool. This is the E logo here, you can see. And then it's over here in your table as well. It's very small though, so that's why I'm zooming in. So this lets you select whatever item is present in the shape file. So if you go over here in your attribute table, you can see under name one, this is a what do you call this? I guess the column where you put all the names of the regions. You can find Davao del Sur, Davao Oriental, Dinagat Islands, etc., etc. So using this expressions tool, it's called the select features tool using an expression. You can find basically anything within the ending document. So the purpose of this, if you know the name of the area, but you don't know where it is in the map, you can just type it in. Otherwise, if you do know the name of the area or the location there, you can just select it outside here and then extract the data from there. But for now, let's just use the select expressions tool. This will become even more valuable when you have more complicated maps with a lot more data in it. So for now, let's just try selecting Cebu first. And then after that, we'll do your own regions or provinces. Okay. So you have your map here. You have your open attribute table. You go to expressions. You click this button, left click. And then just following the guide, you type name_1 equals Cebu. Or you can also go to, it's like I'm just showing the different options. Under fields and values, you click that drop down. Let me just double check if I'm recording. I'm recording, okay. Then you select name_1, you double click, and then it will appear here on the left side. And then you press equals, and then you find the other name. Let's see. You can search for our value in this tab here. I'll just type Cebu. And then it will click unique. It will select the only kanang everything or all the instances that say Cebu. And if you double click that, and then it should appear here, name_1 equals Cebu. So you're telling QGIS to find the data in the name_1 column, specifically the data that says Cebu. So I'll just stop here just to show you the effect of it. So if you click select features, like so, I'll just minimize this. You see that Cebu province is selected. Okay, and then any questions so far? Okay, so it seems like there are no questions. I'm sure there'll be questions later on, but you just repeat the same process. So to add more selections, so if we go to the guide here, the format is OR. So you add the operation of OR to add to Cebu. So I'll just copy that. So OR, and then name, and then click equals again. And I'll try to find Bohol over here. Add Bohol. And also just copy this. Okay. So, oops, sorry. And the formatting is also very finicky. So just make sure that all the ORs are aligned, similar to what's going on here. I'll find Negros Oriental for this one. Negros Oriental, double click. And finally, let's make sure everything's aligned. Siquijor. Double click. Okay. Select features. And then if you go to your map, oops. Select features. There you go. So it says 4 matching features selected. So these are 4 items. These are the, what they call this, the provinces in region 7. So if you are from another region, I would like you to try experimenting, selecting those different regions. So, but for now, so we'll just follow these processes. That's basically what I'm, this text here is what I just told you. And then, okay. Now we are, what do you call this? Let's save the highlighted provinces as a new data set. So let's see, right click on your layer, this Philippine admin 51, that's the name of this layer in this example. But you can just right click whatever you have over there, save vector layer as whatever you want to name it. I don't require you to follow this naming provision. I'll just call it region 7 or something similar, and then click save. And then this will create a new layer here. So you just need to double check that the format is as follows, and then I'll show you over here as well. So I go right click. Let's see, or is it over here? I know it's over here. It's under export. So if you right click Philippine admin 1, go to export, save selected features as, I'll just call this, the format is Esri shapefile, ESRI shapefile. The name will be, I'll just call it region 7. And then the location of this, what they call this, shapefile. This is why we have the folders. I'll just put it under, let's see, my data vectors. I'll just put it outside the vector folder because I have different folders already. So I'll just call it region 7 map. Okay. And then everything should be checked. Say a name string, just double checking the format over here, data source options. Okay. And then you just need to check here. Make sure the add save file to map is checked. So this means that after you save it, the region 7 map will be added to your layers window over here. So click OK. Now we have a region 7 map. So basically you now have a separate layer specifically for region 7. Okay. So I would like you all to try the same process with your different regions. I'm sure you're familiar with the different names of the provinces in your regions. You may be able to select it even just from the map. So make sure you're on the regional map layer and then select the different sort of provinces in your region. For example, maybe this is one region. I'm not really familiar. And then just to save you time, if you already know where the regions are, then from Philippine admin 1, you can sort of do the same process, export, save selected features as, make sure the file name is something you will remember. I'll just call this sample region, save, and make sure it's add save files to map is on. So click that. So now I have a specific map just for those regions that I selected. So there are 2 ways to select. You can select from the attribute table, which is more precise, or you can select directly from the map just by clicking, which is a bit more loose but faster. So when you have even more complicated data, when we get to the barangays, the open attributes table will be more useful. But if you're selecting larger objects like this, just directly selecting from the select features tool would be faster. So I'm just showing you the 2 ways to select. Okay, so let's do a catch-up session, for you guys to catch up. Anyone who is willing to share their screen so we can check your Kanang progress. So if we were in a physical setting, I would just go to your table. But since we're online, I have to ask some volunteers to share their screen. Anyone? So go, Richard. Can you show your screen? So I'm sure you're selecting your region. sa Antique. Nakamute ka, Richard.
Is it fine if I submit these assignments after class, like an hour after class? Because I can't keep up.
Oh, okay, Tadrick, no problem. There are notes as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to rewatch the video.
okay, okay, sure.
Salama.
We all learn at different rates. I'm just here to guide you. Okay,
Right. Thank you.
Richard, go ahead. There, it's sharing. Okay, so I see you have your region 7 ready. What are the different can you try selecting the provinces in your region sa Antique? Equals, yep, and then the name. Double click there. Then or, yep. Iloilo, okay. Sige. So good. Then you can close that. Yes. Good. So that is kanang sample lang. Okay, you can repeat it again later. Okay. Anyone else who is kanang unclear, or is it clear pa? Because like Tadrick said, you can submit it after the class. We were just kanang going through the different sort of steps. Or after, like, we'll just give you, like, I'll give you the rundown and you can do it on your own. So this will count towards our kind of seat work grades. And then maybe next week we'll do like a midterm, short midterm exam online. Okay, so next step. So you have your different regions selected. The next step here is to just kind of edit it, add some color. So over here is we can add some, what do you call this? Here on page 8 of 9, we can apply labels to our features. So when you select this, for example, because we have our separate layer. So I'm just going to use region 7 as an example. You go to properties. So properties will let you edit. And then you go to labels. So the default is no labels. But if you select single labels and click apply, you can see there's some values over here. But if, as you see on my screen, it's all labeled Philippines. So you need to change the value. So it follows the columns in the open attributes tables. I'll just show you there are different sort of values. ID 0, ISO, name 01, name underscore 1, CCN, etc. What we need here is name underscore 1. And then to check, you can click apply, and it should change the names. So Bohol, Siquijor, Negros Oriental. Next, we can apply some different sort of kind of visual flair to our labels. Usually, I would just have the buffer, like so. Draw a text buffer, like that. So what the text buffer does is add a kind of outline to the text so it pops out more. And then you can fix the sizes of the text here. It's set to 10 by default. If you want to make it smaller, you can go 5. Or if you want to make it bigger, sorry, properties, labels. I think 10 is fine, or maybe like, let's just say 12. Okay, there's this thing with how QGIS sort of presents labels. If you zoom in a certain way, the labels disappear, but they're there. You just need to find a good sort of scale. Because if you can see on my screen, Cebu is gone, but if I zoom in further, it comes back. I zoom out, it goes out, and then zoom out again, it comes back. So there's a, I don't know what's causing this. It happens a lot, but the text is there. So if you, what do you call this, export this to a map later on, like I'll just skip ahead a little bit. If I go to my layout manager, I'll just make a new one. Call this region 7. It should be fine on the layouts manager. Add map. And the label should be okay. It doesn't disappear in and out when you're in the layout, meaning going to PDF. So anyway, that's for later. Okay, so you have your different labels already. Then we can add sort of different colors. This will be useful for when you have like several areas with multiple sort of boundaries. If you go to symbology, go to, by default, it's set to single symbol, meaning only one color for all of the objects. If you go to categorized, select the value as name1, because that's where the names of our different provinces are. Click classify, and by default, it assigns colors that are not very kind of good to look at. You can choose other sort of color samples here, or what they call color ramps. Let's see, I'll just use blues, maybe something like that. And then click OK. So now you have different shade of blue for the different maps. Okay, so that's basically this part here. So applying random colors or whatever color ramp you choose, clicking OK will show you different labels and maps, etc. So this is all for this exercise. So it's 12:25. I'm allotting until like 12:30 for this. So you can play around. What you can see here on the map or on the QGIS sample is the, what do you call this? The regional map is also on. So let's see. You can do something similar by, let's see, we can turn on the Philippine Admin 1, which is behind it. So I'll just deselect this. And then with the properties table, I can also give it labels. Apply. Okay, it's on label 0. Sorry, it's supposed to be name 1. Apply. Okay. And notice that the Philippine Admin 1 labels are overwriting the labels for my, what do you call this, region. So I have the labels here for Cebu, Negros, and Bohol. But if I turn on Philippine Admin 1, it overwrites it. So this is why I don't, I tend not to show like two sets of labels together, because the way QGIS is set up is the bigger file seems to overwrite the smaller files. So something like that. And then you can check the labels again if you go to Layout Manager. Like that. You can see the labels appear like that. And then you can see sometimes the Siquijor, the two different labels are overlapping. So my suggestion really is like for like future use lang, just have one set of labels on. So I will turn off the labels for this. Let's put no labels because I want to focus on region 7. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Open gray. Okay, sorry. Go there and okay. Sige. Everyone is good on this step. This is basically the last step of this activity. So just letting you familiarize yourself with the different sort of selections and sort of, I guess, coloring techniques for QGIS. And what you need to do is just send me a screenshot of this, and then you're done. Our next activity, oh, sorry. Let's see here. I forgot I put here activity 04 right next to it. Okay, so we're just halfway. Sorry, I got excited. The next step is just laying it out on a map, like so. We can have the decorations enabled. So if you download activity 04, which is in the same sort of page, it will look like this. So the output will let you have a scale bar, the coordinates, and the north symbol. So from this part, it just picks off right where the previous activity stopped. So apply rendering, This is for, what's really missing are the headers. This, what do you call this? Yeah, that whole page, like page 1 and page 2, is just like informing you how to scale your labels. So hopefully this will kind of, I tried this before, but it doesn't really work, like a scale-based visibility. So the minimum should be 1, and the maximum is this under labels property. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maximum is 3 million. Let me see if that fixes my text. But for the most part, I don't think it did before. I have a region 7 map here. Then I have a March 11 seatwork map. I actually have 2 files. I'll just close this one. Okay. Close. Okay. Okay, so now we have this. Let me try and apply this label setting here. Make sure you're on the correct layer. I just turn off the layer that I don't want to work on, so I don't get confused. Because the more layers you have, the more confusing it will be. Let's see, text. Let's try to follow those attributes. It's under, over here. Labels, show labels for this layer. Rendering, it's under rendering, which is over here. Scale dependent visibility, you close that, is minimum 1 to 3 million. So hopefully this will fix that zooming in and zooming out. Let's see here. Okay. Scale-based visibility. Oh yeah, this is why I didn't do it before, because it's different now. 1:1000, and let me try to apply that. Yeah, now my labels are not working. Because between this version and the PDF, the layout, the rendering kind of changed. So let me see, it says check on both. Show labels are including colliding labels. Okay, apply. Did it do anything? Nope. Maybe I do that. Yeah. That's why I don't apply the rendering, because it doesn't seem to work. I'll just turn it off. So I just use the default. So basically this part here you can ignore because the QGIS updated. And I'm sure there's a video somewhere about how to change the labels. But what we're really after in this class is just getting you familiarized with the tools so that we can create our maps. Okay, so this whole thing here is just like telling you what the scale will how the scale of the text will be impacted by the labels property. So for now, we can skip that so we can save time. And these things here are just kanang draw effects or kanang other effects that you can add to your map, shadows, etc. I will go through that with you, and then adding the coordinates and the north symbol, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I think the shadows are worth it. So they're under properties. In the style and symbology option. Let's see. Okay, style, column name, let's add draw effects. Let me just make this layer rendering. Here we go. So it's default off the layer rendering tab. So you click it, turn on draw effects, and then you click this star thing here. It's over here. And then you can sort of add inner glow, outer glow, drop shadows. And then by moving the values here, you can change the location of the drop shadow. It's default 138 degrees. You can move it like this. If you see this toggle here, where my mouse is, you can move your shadow up and down. And then you can increase the different sort of settings to it. But for me, these are just like aesthetics, not really kanang super helpful to us, because we're trying to analyze the population. This is just to make the map prettier. So you can choose to add it if you want. For me, it's like optional lang. So like so. Okay. And the other sort of thing he wants to show us is the different colorings. Okay. Not really for me. Next is the scale bar. So to attach a scale bar, you need to go to your menu and then your decorations. So over here, menu, edit. Is it menu, edit, or is it menu, view? Sorry. Menu, view, and there should be a decorations tab here. So under view, you click D, should open the decorations. You can add your grid, enable grid, apply. Okay. And then you can add your scale bar, which is like, again, view decorations, turn on scale bar. For me, I prefer the, let's see, I think, was it box or bar? Box. Outline is white. Let's see, color of bar. I don't like the box, stick down. Pick up. Let's add some font of scale bar, margin from edge, automatic slap, the round number, resize, true. Decorations. I'll just disable the scale bar. I was working on the wrong layer. View decorations. Grid, disable grid. Okay. View decorations. Let's make the outline black. You can see it. And then you can choose the location over here. Bottom left, top right, like so. And then the scale bar will move as you zoom in and out of the image. We can also add some coordinates to the grid. Let's see. Grid type marker. Okay, and then this one is line. The browser draw annotation. Line. So these are the coordinates. I forget, honestly, I forget which one is longitude and latitude, but you can turn them on to sort of make it look more official. I prefer the marker because it's a bit cleaner, but the example says grid, so we can try out with the grid. And then the last sort of decoration is the north arrow. I'll just put it in the upper right. Okay. And I'll turn on my admin one again, like that. For me, it's a bit redundant, this applying the scale bar and coordinates here, because we can also do the same thing in the layout manager. And I feel like there's more options in the layout manager, like so. And then the decorations, quote unquote, are already here. So I can place it here. I can add, what do you call this? More sort of gradations or segments to my scale bar. I can add the north symbol. Cancel. Okay. I can add the north symbol over here. So for me, it's just more flexible in the layout option, and it makes the QGIS file cleaner. Okay. But I'm just showing you the two ways, so you can, what do you call this? You can find the best way that works for you. Let's see, add 3D. I hear change map contents. I'll just zoom in a bit. Okay. Okay. So it's 12:41. Let's see, layouts, net manager. Let's make a new one. And this is region 7 with decorations. Create the map. Okay. Coordinates should be your main properties. There's guides. Grids, turn on the grid.
Hello, sir.
Yep, go ahead. I'm just playing around with my file here. Go ahead.
Sorry, sir. Kapapasok lang na kababalik yung kuryente sa amin.
Oh, you just joined the class?
Yes, sir.
Ah, that is unfortunate. There are guides. It's unfortunate that you join now. Maybe just read lang the module, and let's see. We cannot wait for you, Najud. So just try to follow along. I did record the beginning parts, so you can check that later. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sige. Anyway, so the final output will look something like this. Let's see. There's also another, like a previous video I did from, when was this? I think a few years, like almost a year ago. And then I turned off the grid because it looks so messy, man. We just want to show the different municipalities in your region. So you can submit this hopefully in the next, maybe you can submit it after the class and just so everyone can submit together, but you get the idea, right? Like most of you. Okay. Sige. For those who were here, I'll proceed to the next activity, let's say in 5 minutes. If there are any questions, feel free to ask them. One thing I'm trying to figure out currently is, what do you call this? I forgot how to turn on the grids in the region sort of layout manager.
Sir,
Yes, question.
pag ano, yung nag-ano ko nung sa tawag doon, nag-select ako dun sa expression, meron siyang pula na parang arrow up. Then, pag na-select ko na siya, yung lahat ng features, nag-error siya, hindi siya lumalabas yung napili ng mga provinces.
I need to see the screen.
Okay.
So, share screen now.
Share ba tayo?
Okay, it's loading.
Like, yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Ayan, yung nakikita niyo, sir, yung ano, yung pula.
What you forgot to put or.
Dito sa ano.
The beginning.
Okay, yun lang.
Okay, try lang muna.
Sige.
Sige. Type in OR, click select features.
Okay na yun, no?
Okay na siya, nawala ng error.
Nawala na. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
yun
ganun
lang
lang.
pala. Sige,
Parang
sige.
coding.
Okay. Yun lang,
Sige.
thank you, sir.
Okay, sige. Yes, Richard, go. No audio, Richard. Murag since last time pa yung microphone mo na. Sige, type na lang. How do you add region? If you forgot something, it's the expression, do we add region? Kanang, you add a new area? Okay. That's a good question. Okay, I'll share my screen. Like, for example, if I get kanang Richard's question correctly, for example, nawala si, so it gets difficult if you already have a region na map here, like for example, this region 7 map, and then you already forgot, nawala si Siquijor, for example. I think there's a way to manually add one region to it, but I'm not super familiar. The best way would really be once you're still in the Philippine admin map stage, like for example, you're here, wala pa si region 7, and then you go open attributes table, and then you go expressions, and then you go, I'll just do the fields and paths again. Let's see. Fields and values, sorry. So name equals, let's say Cebu, and then or name equal Bohol. So the longer you go through the process, the harder it gets to correct. So for example, sa ganitong phase ka lang, I'll just minimize this. So if you're in this phase na you didn't export the file yet, it's very easy to add an additional, what they call this, region or area, because you still have the option to just type name equals Siquijor, for example. So, oops, sorry. Okay, so ganyan lang if it's still in this phase. But once you, for example, export, when you're done na here, you click selected features, now you close, and then you export export selected features as, let's say, error, the wrong region 7. Blah, 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 layer name. Let's put this here. Okay. Okay. And it will be difficult to sort of add add the missing region or province because it's a separate file now. So best practice before you export it to a new layer or a new map, make sure everything is selected because at this point, I feel like you have to start over again. There might be some new way to like add from a separate layer and just combine the two. I think that's possible in QGIS, but for me, I'm not familiar with that. I just like make sure everything's selected and then I export. So yun na. Okay. Good question. Next, let's move on to the next one. So I'll just make this. I know we have different rates, so I'll make the deadline for this later this evening na lang. Let's make it. Don't wanna, since you're all adults, I don't know. My students, I make it 7 sa undergrad, but since you're all adults, I just make it 9. Yeah, you can choose when to eat dinner. Okay, let's see. Unlimited attempts, 30 points. Save. Okay. So you can export it as PNG, JPEG. JPEG is for me lighter because PDF sometimes it makes it super high def and then it makes the file heavier. Anyway, I forgot the last step. Yeah. So the last step here is, as I mentioned before, I prefer the using the layout manager here. So I'll call this a new one again. I'll call this for export. Okay. So again, we need to be very familiar with the layout manager. The add map button is here. It's the white sort of symbol. And then you can just click and drag. And then to edit the inside of the map, you have the here. No, this one. It's the map symbol with the blue arrows. I wish I had a magnifier, but I'll print screen. I'll go to Paint just to make it super clear and good. Okay. It's this part here. Red brush. This is your select the inside of the map, and this is your add the map button. So this is adding, and this is editing. Okay. So again, just to make it very clear, we add the map like this, and we edit the inside with this. So you can zoom in until we get just the right size. There's also a scale option here to make it even more precise. For example, if I zoom out, the scale is larger. If I zoom in, the scale value is smaller. So let's just say I want it at 900,000 scale. That's a bit too big. Let's say, go on, a bit zoomed out. Let's say 180,000. Oh, sorry. Somewhere like that. You notice Mawa si Cebu again, which is really annoying. So choose a scale where the labels appear. Let me select this. Oh, where am I? I must have selected something. And here we go. Like that. And then I'll choose the scale a bit. Okay, it's really fighting me here. Okay, something like that. Now, center lang a map. Don't mind that Cebu, the label for Cebu has disappeared. There's a fix for that, but I forget what. Okay, something like that. And then you can move it something like this. Maybe I will add I'll turn on the Philippine Admin 1 shape just to give it a bit more context. And then you just refresh what's inside. Yes, question? Control. Yes, very good, Richard. So I forgot about that feature. Very good. Okay. Sige. So just put it like in the center of the page. And extend the borders a bit, something like that. Add your scale bar. Usually go for about 4 segments, something like that. And then let's see, north symbol, like so. And then legend. A legend is over here. This, I'll zoom in. Legend is this one. Legend. I'm just writing with my mouse. And then you can turn off auto update, which is this button here, to remove the parts that we don't need. So I'll just remove that. And then you can put text. Where is the text button? Here. Let's put your name. And then the date you submitted. It's March 11, 2023. And then that's it. So in my example, I'm highlighting region 7. In your submission, just select your own region. Then you can save this as over here, export as image. We'll call it region 7 map, March 11, 2020. Okay. So I have some sample, we're going a bit over time. I have some sample outputs over here. Let's see. So we got the CAR region. We got Cebu City population maps. This is the one we made today. Okay, I have mostly the barangay maps. So our next output will be something like this, which we will start immediately, or maybe in 5 minutes. Anyway, so we have all our shape files here. We can save it as a new project. We'll call this March 11 Seatwork 2. Okay. So now that you know how to export a region, let's try exporting a municipality with the barangay maps or the barangay boundaries. So I'll turn off my region 7 map. I'll go to Philippine Admin 3. I'll turn off my decorations because they're getting distracting. Let's see, scale bar, I'll turn it off. Okay. View decorations, grid, turn it off. Okay. So you should have, you should know the name of your city or municipality. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let's go to the next module. So if you have questions between this time and later this evening, or if you have any questions even after that, just put it in this discussion page over here. So on your view, you can basically just add here. I think the presentations could be more organized. Sorry, it's really messy. I just have so many tasks this particular month. There's so many events happening. So they're all overlapping, so I'm a bit scattered. Okay, so next seat work. This should be good for 1 to 2 p.m. It's 12:57. If you're hungry, you can eat because we'll need to do a working lunch. And then if you're in my next class, we'll start at 3 because I also need to eat. Okay, so again, so we have our Philippine Admin 3. Or in my sample here, I have shapefile 2. I'll just refer to the recording. We'll make, this one is a municipal or city map. For us, since we discussed about agricultural lands later on, not later on, last week, we'll choose that. I'll just put a note here. Put another note. Note 1. Read the text carefully. Put here note 2. Instructions during the session will override instructions in the text. I'll just try to align both instructions. It's not very confusing. Okay. I'll put red text here. For the March 11, 2023 session, we'll be using PHL underscore ADM 3.hh SHP. Highlight that as red. Like so. Okay. Basically, the steps are the same, but we're using a different scale. We're using the barangay scale. Okay, so the guide is here. Activity 05. You just download that as like so. I'll just do this in student view so my screen looks as similar to yours as possible. So when you download activity 05, this is creating new GIS data sets and joining tables. So this is a bit tricky. So I'll go a bit slower, especially when we join the tables. There are some steps here that are a bit redundant. And this particular here is trying to show sort of the different ways you can highlight hectares. So this particular guide is highlighting areas, which we can skip because we're more interested in population. So just a note again for the video and for the session we have now, we'll skip the first half of this activity 05 guide because this one is talking about areas. I want us to go directly to the population. Okay. So for this, I would advise you to go to Philippine Atlas. I'll share the link here. So this is a free website, not kanang official, so you don't use it in your references for your reports. But it's a free website made by I don't know who, but they have the data here that we need arranged, so we don't have to dig around so much. So this data is from the PSA, and this is also the same sort of population data you can find in Wikipedia. So I don't know who these people are, but God bless them. They give us urban designers and planners an easier time, especially in the Philippines where we don't have like our official websites. The PSA is not very good at like presenting data. So I would just copy this whole table here. Okay, you can do the same for your own municipality or city. I'll just copy it into an Excel workbook like that. And then what I really want here is the population from 2015 and 2020. Okay. So this guide, let me close the other tabs I don't need. Okay. So this guide already tells you to download the what do you call this? The data from the PSA, but I don't know if this website is still working. Yeah, it's not working anymore. That's the problem with the Philippines. Our data is not consolidated and our websites are not very good, unfortunately. So that's why I suggested Phil Atlas. You get that data, put it into a spreadsheet, and now we can sort of clean up the data. Basically, we also skip this step because Philippine Atlas already highlights the data for us. What we need are these two population data sets. So 2015 and 2020. I'll just highlight it in yellow on my screen here. I'll zoom in a bit as well. So we have the different barangay names, Adlaon, Asungot, Apas, Babag. So if you go to Philippine Admin 3, you go to properties, not properties, sorry. Open attribute table. I keep switching the two. Go to select features, and then check where is the name that has which sort of table, or no, not table, column has the name of the kanang municipality. So if you look at what you call name one here, if I select it like so and zoom out, there's Abra. Abra's very, very far away. So this is the challenge with a lot of data sets. I'll just go find Cebu. So Where's my thingy here? Ah, there it is. So now that we have so much data, it gets trickier to find what do you call this? Our location. So this is where the expression tool is useful. So I know that Cebu, the municipality of Cebu, I'm not even sure if this municipality or city. I'll just try looking at field one, field name underscore one, and see what it selects. So I'll go to field and values, go name one, equals, search Cebu, click all unique, select features. Oh, sorry, I did double click. There we go. Select features. So name underscore one is the province name. So I don't want to search for Cebu province. I want to search for Cebu city. So I'll go to open attribute tables again, click the expression search again. I'll try name underscore two, and then you can see it highlights Lapu-Lapu city. So definitely name underscore two is where the municipal and city kanang borders or boundaries are found. So let's go there, fields and values. Again, click name underscore two equals, search for Cebu again. So this time it's called Cebu city. So that's the challenge, is if when you work here in the Philippines, in the US or abroad, they'll have sort of the Cebu province, and then there's Cebu city. There's in Sydney, there was the Greater Sydney area, the Sydney sort of council, and the city of Sydney. So all three Sydneys, but at different scales. So this is where organizing, or like this is where QGIS is very good at organizing data. So I want Cebu city. I'll select all features, and if I close this, it should have Cebu city selected. Okay. So you can do the same for your kanang different municipalities. Can someone give me a kanang just type lang on the chat your municipality or city, and then I can do a quick sample for you. Oh wait, I'll try Antique on my end, and then if you have your try typing your own municipality as well. So I'll check name, date, fields and values, name underscore two, put equals, all unique. Oh, sorry, Antique. Spell it right. A-N-T. Si Alcantara, Antipas, Antipolo. Okay, so maybe that's not Sibalom. Okay, Sibalom is the municipality. So I'll select features, and then I'll just zoom out. I know it's somewhere in data. So there is Sibalom. So basically your municipality or city name, and then once you have that selected, you can export it the same way we exported the Region 7 map to have your own layer for your specific municipality and city. There's something interesting with how the boundaries are being made here. I just like noticed this one. Whereas kanang Sibalom has a lot of kanang straight lines, this area here is a lot of kanang sort of organic looking shapes. I don't know what's going on there. Also over here. So you're going to see like the different kinds. These boundaries are mostly kanang socio-political or socio-economic, based on, I guess, the different mayors, the different barangay captains, what and how they divide up land. But anyway, I'm going to do Sibalom for now. So I'll export using the right click, export, and then save selected features as, I'll call this Sibalom, the Sibalom shapefile, Sibalom municipality. Save, and then make sure it's the add save files to map is enabled, but it's already usually enabled by default. Okay, I'll turn off everything else. Now I have a Sibalom map. Okay, so you should be, just let me know if you're still kanang behind or if you're following along. I'll go a bit faster here. Next, so we have the attribute table over here. We have the different barangay names and the different, we have the municipality name and the I guess, province name here. Name 1 is province, name 2 is municipality, name 3 are the barangays. Okay, sorry, excuse me, getting gassy. Now I want to add population data. So I'll go to Fill Atlas. I'll search. Where's the search function here? City. There's a city button. Let's go city. And component cities and component cities. I'll just do the Google search bar. It's faster. Sibalom, Fill Atlas. Okay. I'll go to the population data here. We have the barangays are Alangan, Bari, Bigaa, Bumbungan, Bumbungan 2, etc., etc. Let me check if the names are correct. It should be correct. So Alangan, Bari, Bigaa, Bumbungan 1, Bumbungan 2, Bungsod, etc., etc. Okay, sakto ni siya. Let me just double check. So the only error that will pop out if there's a wrong spelling in the name _3 column, it will create an error. But for the most part, I think the 2015 team or the 2015 teacher who I replaced in the pandemic, or no, I think this was even created. This is an official Philippine GIS file, so all the spelling should be correct. So that shouldn't be a problem. But if ever you get an error, when you import or align the data, it's usually a spelling error. So how do we create a new column? So it's over here. We create toggle editing mode. I'll just print the screen. So this is a very important button. So I'll zoom out a bit. This button here. Let me brush. This button here is your biggest friend. Okay, so we edit that. Next is we click the add new field or Control W. That's the yellow column button here. So I'll show it in Paint. That's this button. Oh, it doesn't. This button here. It's grayed out, but that's what you're doing over here. So you click that. We'll call it population 2015. And make sure it's whole number integer. That's for numbers. And you have 10 spaces for the number. So like 10 sort of characters. I think that should be enough. Let me check the data real quick. Yeah, it's only 4 characters even. So 10 is more than enough. You click OK. And then we have our population. We can't move it around. Okay. Okay. Now this is where it gets a bit kanang. There's a way to import the whole, what they call this, Excel file. But recently, I think last time I taught this, I had some troubles importing it. So just to be extra safe, I would just copy paste from here. Like for example, like so. So we have Alangan. I'll just copy the website. Because there's a bit, the problem with the free software, it's a bit finicky. So, but the benefit is that it's free, so we can all do it. So let me just do it like this. I'll highlight like so. So we'll be encoding the population data. It's a bit tedious, I know, but at least we're sure that the numbers go correctly into the right name. So Alangan is 834. So 834, like so. And then if ever you need to save, you can turn off the editing to save. Like so. Okay, where is the, there we go. So your data is here, Alangan at 134 people. And then to continue editing, just double click and then fill in again. So I think we can, I have to edit one at a time. So that's 10. So next, I'll just do it like this. So it's a bit more visible. Okay, next is 329. Bigaa is 726. No, 329 is. Okay, next is Bari, then Biga at 329. Okay, 109, no, 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 760. 760. 542. 542, 601. So this is one way to do it. I'll just save it like that. The other way, the faster way, is using the, okay, I'll just highlight it. Using the Excel and import kanang options here. So I'm kind of scared that it will bug out on me, but let's try it. So we need to have a cleaned up Excel file, .csv, as shown below. So we need to label the municipalities, etc., etc. Okay. And then let me go to our Excel file here. I'll make a new sheet for Sibalom. Okay. Okay, so this should save us a lot of time. I'll just call it barangay. I don't need the percentage of population. I don't need the percentage of change. Actually, I think we can keep that. This one I don't need. I think these two we can use. I'll just clear the formatting to make it normal. There we go. Okay, because QGIS doesn't like formatting of the Excel file like so. Okay, so now just raw data, cleaned up with the barangay names over here. Let's make this capital barangay. Barangay, big text. Okay. I'll save this as, let's see, where's my QGIS folder? Browse. Desktop, QGIS. My data, I'll put it under tables. I'll call it Sibalom. Sibalom population data. Okay. So using the guide here, what is our next step? No, it's saved. Oh, it should be saved as a CSV. That's the first step. Save as tables.csv. It's a file type that makes it kind of easier for, or makes it possible for QGIS to detect. So it's CSV, comma, delimited. So it's .csv. Sibalom CSV files. I'll just call it Sibalom CSV population data. Okay. Okay. I think I need to remove the other sheet. So it's gone. Yes. Okay. Let's double check if it's correct. .csv. Okay. Okay. So I'll close this. Save. Keeps asking me to. Okay, there we go. I'll close this. Close that. Minimize this. Open that. Okay, so we can import a .csv file using the delimiter text layer tool. It looks like a comma with a plus. So you can add the Sibalom or whatever region .csv to your QGIS. And then the window should look something like this. So the file name, that is where your file is located. What your layer name will be. We have here Cebu Towns. I guess I'll rename it to Sibalom Barangays. Make sure the format is .csv. No geometry, so it's only numbers. And then first record have field names. Click OK, so it should appear over here. Okay, I'm going to try that. So where is that button and the delimiter. Let me double check. Text, click the delimiter text tool. It should just be outside. Search delimiter. Under layer, layer, add layer. Okay, it's here. So it's under layer. Go to the apostrophe. So add delimited text there. I'll just print screen this, open this in Paint so you guys can see it clearly. V. So the layer button is over here. Here. Trying to change that. Then you go to add layer. Then you go to add delimited text layer. So it looks like that. Okay. Closing that. Add layer, delimited text layer. We'll look for our table. So this is why you need folders, because you'll be having CSV files combining with your image files. So it makes it, what do you call this? Very messy if you don't have folders. So let's go to bottom CSV data, open, make sure it's CSV, coordinates, no geometry. Notice there are, if you see my screen, 2015 question mark 2020, then growth rate dash. So it doesn't register dashes in the name. So we can clean up the CSV file a bit before I import it. So I'll just double check the stuff. BSVJS, my data, tables. So just cleaning up. I forgot there are some information here that doesn't translate well. There you go. Okay, that should be okay. Okay, let me save this. Close. Okay, let me see if it keeps the dashes. Layer, add layer, with the text layer, browse. This one, open. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't keep the dash. But anyway, we'll just call this population change dot 2020, 2015 dot 2020, and then growth rate 2015 dot 2020. Just so I'm just like, I don't want to see those like weird question marks, because I don't want any, what do you call this? Any problems with the calculations later on. Yes, keep it CSV. They keep asking me to save. Okay, sure. So layer again, add layer, the limited text layer. Sorry about that. So yeah, as we, what do you call this? Saw earlier, it's like coding and programming. So like symbols, punctuations are very kind of critical. Also spelling as well. So then it seems okay. I'll just add this. Close. So now we have a layer called Civalum CSV population data. So the next step will show us how to merge these two layers. So we have it here. Click OK. So you can see the different properties of the CSV file. So this is just making sure that the numbers are registered as text so that you can do calculations with them. Because sometimes when you import things, they are read as text. I'll just go to open, excuse me, open the attribute table. Oh, it's under properties there, sorry. Fields of Cebu Towns.csv. So go to properties, go to fields, and edit fields. Let's see. Type is double. How do I change the type from double to integer? If type name is integer, click OK. No geometry. Okay. See if I can edit this. Sorry. I don't know why the population change and the annual population growth rate is classified as double. Let me try to troubleshoot this real quick. File, import. I just remove this. Remove the layer. Remove the layer. Layer, add layer. Delete the text layer. Browse, CSV. Watch file, number of headings, trim heads. Geometry, no geometry, spatial settings. I don't know why. I think it's really because of the name up here is causing this, but we'll just see how it goes. Close. Okay. Next step is to combine the shape layer with the CSV layer. So the most important integers are the population data. So if you go to the layer over here, the properties of Sibalo, going to fields, the population 2020 is an integer. The population 2015 is also an integer. Okay. And I can't seem to edit. Anyway, let's see. Next is to use the join process over here. First, make the following changes in the attribute names to synchronize the joining process. Under name 2 of Cebu, okay, you don't need this because the spelling is already correct. Add the plus, join the window. Okay. Fill out the blanks as shown above. Join field is Municit. And then target field name _2. And table shows process successful. Okay. So what is this? What this section is trying to say is that we will align name _2 with what the file says calls as Municit. In our file, I just called it barangay. So I'll show you how that process happens. So okay. So we need to open the Sibalo map or your municipality map, whichever you have. Go to properties, go to joins, click add. Let's add a Sibalong population data. The join field is barangay. The target field is, let me double check. Sibalong municipality, cancel. Open attribute table. Okay, we're trying to align name 3 to the barangay data. So I'll just open it again. So under barangay, this is where our name 3 is. So Alagan, Bari, Bigaa, Bubungan, etc., etc. So let's do that now. I'll just minimize that in case I need to refer to it later. So let's go to properties, joins. From the join layer, you select the CSV population data. Click the join field as barangay, and the target field is name _3. Let me just double check if everything checked. Cache layer and then custom field name prefix. Okay, Okay. I'll just call this CSV is the prefix. Okay. And then to check if the, what they call this, the merging was successful, you open the attributes table of the Sibalom municipality. So let me see. Okay, let me open attribute table. There we go. So if you can see my screen, I'll just increase the bit. So you have my one layer here, or one row here of that manually added data, population 2015, and here is the imported data. So we got some missing data here in Bigaa. We can fill that in manually, I think. I'm just happy that we have almost all of the data over here. So what's missing? That's Bigaa 2015. I'll just edit it. I'll manually add it. Okay. Why is it null? Is it because there's no Bigaa in the Ah, yes. That's what happened. So notice that Bigaa is with a capital A, and Bigaa in my CSV file is a small a. So that's causing some problems. So let's just change the spelling there. And the other one that's causing a problem for us is, let's see, Kaloy Oy. Let's see, make it a capital O. Next is over here, Egania. Egania. E-G-A-N-A. Seems to be the same spelling, but doesn't seem to be counting it. Let's see, Egania. Maybe if we just rename both to without the special letter. I'll just rename it Egania over here. And then here as well, I'll rename it Egana. So hopefully that will fix that. Next is in Dagan. Again, the capital A is like causing a problem. The other one is just a few more. Pisanan. Let's see, Pisanan, P-I-S. Big A. And finally, it's Tig-Ohot. Tig-Ohot. Okay, yes. Just call this change na lang, not extra data. Growth rate. Number. Okay, I'll try joining these again. Stop editing, save. So I remove this. Open attribute table. Okay. So if I remove that layer, it's now gone from the attribute table of Sibalom. So I can just insert a new one. So again, going to selecting the Sibalom municipality layer. I'll click here. Okay. See, I thought there was an add layer button here, but you really have to go to the toolbar. Add layer, delimited text layer. Look for that CSV file again. So hopefully the spellings are correct. And didn't add. Okay. No geometry. Add, close. There we go. And then from Sibalom municipality, we go to properties. We go to joins. Select the CSV file. name underscore 3. So the join field is barangay again. Then the target field is name underscore 3. So your join field is the file you're importing will target name underscore 3. So enable editable join there. Question, yes. Nelson, go ahead.
No, sir. I just accidentally na to na ko, sir.
Ah,
Sorry.
okay. See, no problem. Okay, click OK. Click apply, click OK. So open attribute table. Okay, seems like na complete na ang data. Nothing is null. And now I want to remove my old population data here. I can go to edit, click the red delete field. I'll print screen again just to highlight it. Okay, so there is the brush tool. We have the delete field here, and we have the add field here. So one is yellow to add, red is to remove. Okay, so I'll just save the edit here. Oh wait, did I remove that? Oh, not yet. Open attribute table, edit the attribute table. I'll remove this one. Remove pop 2015. There we go. Okay. Close. And save. Yes. Okay, Control S. Now we can finally get to the fun part. So I want to create a map that will show the population data of 2015. So I'll go to properties, I'll go to symbology, I'll select categorized, then I will select Cebalom 2015, and then classify. And then instead of random colors, I'll choose a color ramp. Let's just say green this time. Actually, let's go a bit fun, magma. Apply, click OK. So based on I think we need a legend here. So the darker the color, the higher the number. The brighter color is the darker the color, the lower the number, and the brighter the color, the higher the number. I think I'll just choose one set of colors. It's a bit too distracting. Modify the green to, let's say, reddish. Something like that. Or maybe orange now. Red seems like a very kind of danger color. Let's apply. Okay, maybe something like that. Click OK. So the yellows are the least populated and the greens are the most populated. So you can see in Cebalom, the most populated areas as of 2015 is here, but we don't have any labels. I'll just add some labels. Labels, single labels. I'll put a buffer because I like putting buffers. Okay. Oops, sorry. Properties. I put in the wrong field name. So field name 3. Not mask, buffer. Like, okay. So you have the different municipalities here. Okay. View decorations. Where are the decorations? My north symbol is still there. I just noticed it. Apply. Okay. So this is 2015 data set. So the least populated barangays are in Bugnay, Cabanban, Luna, Calooy, Milamena, etc., etc. So notice the concentration is here when it decreases as we go outside. The colors are not so. I want to fiddle with the colors a little bit. This is where my OC ko gamay. There are like several color points. So maybe if we move this a bit. Okay, maybe just single color will do. Okay. I like the yellow highlights. So maybe I'll put. sorry, I'm getting very playful with it. So I just like seeing the data. white here will have a, just to highlight the different shades, maybe something like that. And then here, something like that. And then here, maybe still a shade of something like that, lighter. And this is where I want, yeah, something like that. So you can see the difference. So dark blue is the most populated, dark yellow is the least populated. So it's very clear now where the least population is and then where the most population is. Okay. Now, let's save this as 2015. Let's go to Layout Manager. We'll call this 2015 Sibalom. Okay, we'll just create a new one. 2015 Sibalom population. Okay. Again, you'll be more familiarized with the map making. So our add map is here. Like so. I think I want to turn on the map behind it, like the Philippine map, because it's a bit weird to see it just like a floating municipality. Let's turn on admin 1. Okay, let's put admin 1 at the bottom so it doesn't interfere. Something like that. Okay. Sorry, that was a loud snort. Sorry for that noise. Let me change the color because I want it to stand out. Okay, there. So if you go to the layout, we can press this refresh button. So you can see that Barangay Sibalom is not a coastal, the municipality of Sibalom or the city of Sibalom is not a coastal area. It's surrounded by land, as symbolized by this gray area over here. I think we can make it just a little bit bigger. So I'll zoom in just a little bit more, like that. I'll make it just a little bit wider. A tail is cut. Okay, so something like that. Just want to show the coastal area. Like so. Okay. I'm gonna edit it a bit shorter, so I have room for my legend. The legend by default is like vertical. If I could figure out a way to make it horizontal, I would tell you, but I think it's somewhere. Let's see. Okay. Whoa, there's the population data. Let's remove some of the data we don't need. So this one, we don't need this. Don't need this. Let's remove that. And then we can change the font size of this part here. Title font, headings font. It's currently set to 14. Let's try to change it to 10. Title font. Wonder if I can just okay, let's remove these. There's a dark blue color that has no data, so I'll just remove that. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's really the text size that's causing a problem here. What if I change the page size? Properties, settings, layout options. Page setup, here we go. So it's set to letter, which is a bit small. Let's try A3. Okay, all the population data. There's a way to simplify this. Just remember. Okay. So the population data is very detailed. So there's a lot of what they call this, a lot of data sets to go through. We can simplify this by going to properties. So we'll go, where is this? Advanced, I think. Nope, not that one. Let's see. Categorize. Is it graduated? Okay, graduated is the property style we want. We want, let's say, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 classes. And then, let's see, legend formats looks good. Okay, why are there two values here? Oh, it's showing the legend format and the actual value. Okay, this looks good. So I'll click apply, click OK. Then we go to our legends here, and there it's finally smaller. Okay. So we can change the name here. Let's see. Item properties. The text, title font, make it bold. Center, title font bold, 14, okay. Or is it under group headings? Let's see, bold, 14, okay. So still not there. Maybe it's subgroup font. There we go. Okay, I might need to make this just a little bit smaller so I can make room for my legend. Like that. Ah, finally. Okay. So I just saved the layout. I'll call this, insert the title up here using the text tool. Let's say caps lock. Sibalom Municipality Population 2015. Make it bold and center, middle. Font size, I'll make it a bit bigger at 20. There we go. Then we'll add our, let's make that a little bit bigger. Add our scale bar. I usually have something like that, 4 segments. Then north symbol. And then add your name. Oh, excuse me. And let's just put our subject, so MUD 201N, March 11, 2023. Something like that. Okay, now you can save this, export it as image. Okay, JPEG would be better. Where's JPEG? Put this, I'll put the date in as well. March 11, 2023. 300 dpi is fine because it's just a JPEG. Okay, so now we have the 2015 population data map. Let's make a map for the 2020 population data. So go to properties. So since everything is set up, all we need to do is change the kanang value. So before it was 2015, now let's look at 2020, click apply. Click OK. And then we can compare. Oh, there's some missing data here. Open attribute table. Oh, there's really one gray in the middle. Let me double check. Richard, is this correct? Nabay Is there a hole in Sibalom? I'll check the Sibalom map. Yeah, it should be included. I don't know what's going on with this hole here. But I must have missed something when I was selecting. So please double check. I missed one barangay. I don't know how that happened. Let me check the output folder. It's also here. No, it's blue. I think it's the Katungan District 3. Seems to have disappeared in the 2020 population data. Open attribute table. Katungan, ABC, Katungan 3. Huh, what is that? The data is here. It says 627 population. Let me just open my properties again. Classify. Okay, I just needed to click classify again. So classify, apply, okay. Okay, the district 3 is back. Now, since everything is set up in our layout tool, so you just need to click, let me select this button here, the refresh button, update map preview. So that should have been updated already. Let me double check. Let me deselect. Okay. So we got the 2015 map here with Cabanbanan as the high or the least populated in 2020. No, sorry, 2015, and it remains to be the least populated as well in 2020. Question? Yes. Wala. I can also refresh here. Let's auto update it. I'll take out the stuff that we don't need. Delete that. Delete that. So going to our table here, the change is very little if you look at the Sibalom area. So from 2020 to 2015, the highest change most likely is, let's see, nothing even like 1%. So it's all 0.05, 0.2. So I'll just highlight where is the highest value here. Conditional formatting, highlight cells. Let's see. Color scales. Okay, the highest value here seems to be this one with a 0.5 change, 0.5% change. And the lowest change is, or like the, what do they call this? Sort of negative growth, meaning people are leaving the area. It's in Dagan. So we can check it in the map. It's from 309 to 359. So that's not a lot. That's like 50 people. So if we look at Sibalom, I'll just rename the Sibalom 2020. And then, okay, save it. Layout, export as image. Save it as JPEG. I'll call this 2020 under DPI. So if we can, now we have two maps side by side. We can look at Sibalom 2015 and then Sibalom 2020, which based on our map here, not much has changed. They're almost identical. So from 2015 to 2020, the populated areas still remain the populated areas with a sort of, let's say, average population of between 1,300 to 3,700 people. There's like a big gap there. Let me close my layout folder here. So, kana. 2020 is on the left, 2015 is on the right. It seems the big change here is in Dagan, which became a darker yellow, meaning the population became less. Pisanan is a bit, what do you call this? Still dark blue, while I think it's Pusong or Nagdayaw became a bit darker blue. So the changes are, I'll just highlight with my snipping tool. The big changes are here. Also, this one is darker blue. These districts here became a higher, like what do you call this? Pretty much still the same category. Let's see. I wonder what's going on in these districts here, these barangays here, where it's always a lesser population. It could be a geographical or a physical issue. Maybe it's like sloping, I don't know, with that area. So now you have two maps. It's already 2 o'clock almost. We can sort of make our report and analysis. I think we have to do it, what do you call this? Next session. But I bet if you're from this area, you have some idea as to why this is going on. I'll repeat the same process for the Cebu situation because I have a bit more information on that. And then you can just save this QGIS file like this, and then you can go to another area. So one file can have multiple maps. So this is the strength of QGIS. So I'll try to do the same process again with the Cebu City. The recorded has another video as well, para it goes a bit faster. I'll stop recording here, and then I'll start recording again.